Good morning. It is Wednesday, January the 4th, and today is D-Day. Today is the day that I start the Underground Railroad process of getting my husband the hell out of Sinai Hospital. So, just got a call from the anesthesiologist and approved for him to have his peg tube put back in for his stomach feedings. And the anesthesiologist, everybody seems so like I don't even know what the word, like they're unaware of their own situations, I guess. And so the anesthesiologist is asking me, and she's like, yeah, I've been following your husband. I was the one who did his anesthesia when he first came in. She was like, do you know how he was able to pull the peg tube out again? No, actually I don't. She was like, didn't he have an abdominal binder? Yeah, last I talked to not this attending physician, Dr. Pecklin Michael, but the previous attending physician last week, Dr. Birnbaum, he had an abdominal binder and they had him on an arm restraint. So I had, of course, advocated for him to get off of the arm restraint, but it was never told to me that his abdominal binder may have been removed. And so I'm really concerned as to how a patient who has only been with y'all, for 6 weeks is on his third surgery for a peg tube and also didn't have an abdominal binder on the morning that it got pulled out, and also suddenly didn't have on his hand mitten. Now on Monday, when his caregiver was there, she provided me pictures, we talked, this and that, she gave me updates. He had his mitten on. So how is it that suddenly on Tuesday, maybe one day or so before he was supposed to go to rehab, suddenly he neither has an abdominal binder nor a mitten? Nobody mentioned this to me. And then now we have to have a third surgery to put the fucking peg tube back in. So I'm hoping that they really don't try to give me shit about discharging him from the hospital. I'm definitely planning his discharge for this weekend, because if he gets the peg tube in today, which is Wednesday, they can watch him overnight Thursday and Friday for 2 days, and then we can leave on Saturday morning, hopefully. But surgeries have then other complications that can come up. He could spike a fever from the surgery and they'd be like, oh no, we got to keep him because he spiked a fever and this, that, and the other. And I'm just like, I don't want to deal with any of that. But I'm just gonna have to let them know, listen, you have one option right now. You either release my husband to me, or I'm going to get a lawyer about this malpractice claim that I'm about to file, and then we can go from there. It's definitely your choice. You can just sign him out, or we can continue. He can stay with you and we can continue this, and then I'm going to get a lawyer, and then you're going to pay me, and I'm going to make sure that this blows up on social media, and I'm going to make sure that I go to the fucking news. Those are your options right now. Like I have been so calm and just patient and just really trying to stay professional in this situation, not rock the boat too much, because I didn't want, any harm to come to him or whatever under their care. But at this point now, I have to go from lamb to lion mode. Now I got to go into lioness mode on behalf of my man, because y'all are putting him at harm's risk now. A third surgery of the same kind in 6 weeks because of your negligence? No, he's not safe there with you. So he gotta go. Good morning, family. I'm so excited. It is Thursday, the 5th of January. I finally made it back to Baltimore, and when I tell y'all that trip here was ridiculous, when I tell you that the enemy tried his best, Like, I'm like, what is happening in the spirit realm, like, right now? Like, first of all, my flight was 2 hours delayed, which meant that I was going to miss my connecting flight. All right, that's not a huge deal. Like, that happens a lot. So I wasn't really tripping. So when I went up to the counter, though, and I was talking to the girl, I'm like, well, let me try to be a little bit proactive. Let me see what other flights they have available for Thursday, just in case, I had to stay overnight and then take a Thursday morning flight or something. Sis gonna tell me, oh, no, ma'am, unfortunately, there's no additional flights out of Fort Lauderdale until the 10th. I'm sorry, bitch, it's the 4th. What you mean? So you mean if I take this flight right now, this 2-hour late flight, I'm going to end up in Fort Lauderdale and I'm going to be stuck there for 6 days? Like, what do you mean? And I'm like, so what is Spirit doing about this? Like, first of all, what is the reason for the delay? Because the reason determines whether or not they reimburse you. She going to say, well, according to our system, it's the weather in Fort Lauderdale. Girl, it only took 2 seconds to Google the weather in Fort Lauderdale. 80 degrees and sunny. Bitch, all right, you know what? So I went ahead and I took the flight, and I was like, well, let me see if I can find a backup flight, because clearly y'all just don't want to do y'all job. Because I was like, well, is there any other airline you could put me on? Is there any other? And she was like, well, no, not out of this hub. That would be for Fort Lauderdale to do, and da-da-da-da. Okay, all right, honey, whatever. So I went ahead and, utilized the interwebs. And basically there was a flight the next day out of Miami. Okay, well, Fort Lauderdale is a short cab ride to Miami, bitch. Like, it's not rocket science to get that set up. So I was able to go ahead and book that flight. I'm trying to cross this street, y'all, while talking to y'all. I was able to go ahead and book that flight as a backup. So as it turned out, my secondary flight was also delayed, and I made it just by the skin of my teeth. Like, the connection was so tight. It was like a 5-minute connection. I was huffing I was huffing, y'all. I was like, ooh, let me get to this damn flight. Like, and I was tired, and it was late. Like, it was a lot. I was like the second to the last person to get on the flight, but we made it. We landed at like midnight here in Baltimore. So I'm excited right now to be going to see my man. I'm going to see my man and assess his situation. What the hell is happening here? He is coughing up blood. Okay. Alright. Okay. Y'all know it's time for me to show my ass, right? Right. See y'all on part 2 of this joint.